Cut it! Cut it now! The blade won't cut! Oh, it's tightening!
This can't be.
Let me take you back to how it all started. In the village of Akosua, people said a child's hair carried their destiny. That was why no one touched Akosua's hair. At least, not after the first time. Akosua was born during the long rains, when snakes flooded compounds and hid beneath beds. On the night she arrived, her mother screamed that something was crawling out of her head. The midwife slapped the baby hard, but Akosua did not cry. She only stared, calm and awake, while thin black hair already curled tightly against her scalp. By morning, the hair had grown. Too much. Too fast. Women whispered that children were not supposed to be born with such thick hair. The midwife washed her hands again and again that day, complaining of a strange tingling in her fingers. She died 3 days later. No one connected it to Akosua. Not yet. As Akosua grew, her hair grew with her. Unnaturally long. Unnaturally heavy. It did not behave like hair. It coiled. It rested. Sometimes, when she slept, it shifted on its own, sliding slowly across the mat, like something breathing. Her mother, Adwa, never braided it herself. The first time she tried, Akosua screamed. Not a child's scream. A sharp, hissing cry filled the room, and Adwoa's fingers stiffened around the strands. She dropped the comb and clutched her hand, trembling. By nightfall, her arm was swollen and burning. By the next morning, fever had taken her. From then on, only Akosua touched her hair. At age 7, she began school. The village school was small, cracked walls, wooden desks, dust clinging to bare feet. Children stared when Akosua entered for the first time. Her hair was always covered with a scarf, thick and heavy, tied tightly around her head. She never removed it. When asked why, she said quietly, "My hair bites." The children laughed, until sickness followed. One girl, AC, pulled at Akosua's scarf during playtime, teasing her. The scarf slipped. For a brief second, the children saw it. Hair, but wrong. Too thick, too alive. Braids twisting into each other, ends curling sharply like tails. AC screamed and ran. That night, AC vomited until her throat bled. She complained of things crawling inside her belly. By morning, her skin was cold and her eyes refused to close. She lived, but she never returned to school. Soon, strange illnesses followed Akosua like a shadow. A boy who sat behind her and touched a loose strand fainted and woke with his tongue swollen black. A teacher who forced her to remove her scarf during assembly lost the use of her legs within a week. Doctors found nothing. The village priestess, Mamiafia, came to see the child. She asked Akosua to remove her scarf. Slowly, the girl untied it. The hair spilled down like a nest of living rope, thick, dark, glistening. As it touched the ground, it moved. Mamiafia stepped back, her breath caught. "These are not braids," she whispered. "These are mouths." That night, the priestess dreamed of snakes whispering her name. She died before dawn. Akosua began to understand her secret. At night, when the village slept, she sat quietly and listened. Her hair whispered to her, not in words, but in urges. Hunger, anger, memory. It remembered the forest. It remembered shrines abandoned. It remembered promises broken by ancestors. When Akosua was angry, people fell sick. When she cried, animals died. Once, a teacher slapped her for refusing to remove her scarf. Akosua did not fight back. She simply stood still, tears dripping onto her uniform. By evening, the teacher's skin peeled as if burned. The elders gathered. They said the child was cursed. They said her hair carried witchcraft, They said she must be cleansed. They cut her hair. Or tried to. The blade did not cut. It screamed. A thin, shrill sound filled the room as the hair tightened around the man's wrist. He collapsed instantly, foaming, eyes rolled back. The elders fled. That night, Akosua walked to the river alone. She knelt, dipped her hair into the water. The river turned black. Fish floated up, bellies white. The next morning, the school was closed. Children were sick. Adults whispered. Fear thickened. Akosua stopped coming outside, but her hair did. People began to see it, at night, sliding under doors, curling near sleeping mats, brushing bare ankles. Anyone it touched fell ill by morning. No wounds, no marks, just sickness, and dreams of cold scales tightening around their bodies. One night, Adwoa tried to burn her daughter's hair while she slept. Akosua woke smiling. By sunrise, Adwoa was blind. They took Akosua to the forest shrine, deep where snakes were worshipped before churches came. They left her there, alone. Watch out for part 2.